Hi beautiful people, welcome to my Nutrition 101 series. My name is Pina, nutrition therapist and energy medicine practitioner. In this video we're going to be talking about something called the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 list. This list all exists in America, and that's the reason why I wanted to shoot this video, because how do Europeans go about it? What is the counterpart that we can use and why is important? So because of this topic, we're going to be talking about the conventional market of produce, the problem of fertilizers in those foods, organic market, and finally, we consumers, what can we do to safeguard ourselves from pesticides in our foods? The Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 list, it's compiled by the EWG, which is the Environmental Working Group in USA, as part of their annual Shopper's Guides to Pesticides in Produce. And why is important? Because of course pesticides are a huge problem all over the world. We know the effects of pesticides in the human body, and loads of environmental groups all over the world are fighting to ban certain pesticides in their own countries. So how this list comes to life? What happened is USDA, which is the United States Department of Agriculture, releases a report every year on the pesticides residues in produce. In these reports, they indicate which fruits and vegetables is higher in pesticides residues and the ones that are lowest. So according to these data, then the Environmental Working Group, which is a private customers and support group, compiled the list. So the Dirty Dozen is the fruit and veg the highest in pesticides residues, and the Clean 15 are the ones that are the lowest. Why pesticide residues? Because the residue is the detectable trace of chemical that is left in the fruit and veg. And the way the SDA does the testing is by washing them, peeling them, and then testing them. So by looking at this list, we as a consumer have a guide to navigate ourselves within the conventional market of produce. Great rule of thumb, of course, is to buy organic, because organic not only limit the pesticides used, but use only those of natural origin. So scientifically proven over and over again that organic is higher in nutrients and lower in pesticides, is good for health, but also organic farming is great for the environment. The problem with organic is the price at the moment. Extremely expensive, and also most organic products are imported and variety is not always available. So when I first heard about this list, I was thinking, okay, it's easy. If fruit and vegetable has a thicker skin, then it's safer. And if they have a thinner skin, then I better go off and buy its organic counterpart. Well, actually, it's not always like this. Let's have a look at the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 latest updated list. So as you can see, strawberry, it's a number 1, followed by spinach, kale, mustard green and collard greens. These are the fruit and veg that contain the highest pesticide residues. While nectarine, apples and pears are right there and they have thick skin. So my thinking does not apply. If you look at the Clean 15, sweet potato, watermelon, mangoes, cantaloupe, mushrooms are there. Mushrooms don't even have skin, right? You just wash and chop them up. Sweet peas, sweet corn. So yeah, my thinking does not apply. And the reason why it does not apply is because most pesticides are used systematically, which means the plants absorb it through the skin, the soil, the seeds. So once we eat the plant, the actual pesticides will be part of it. By peeling it, you won't resolve the problem. Hence why the Dirty Dozen Clean 15 list, it's a very handy tool for consumers to have. But that's in USA. What about the rest of the world? So I did a little research about Europe, because I live in Italy at the moment, and there's no such a thing. Actually, the UK has a Dirty Dozen list. It's compiled by the PAN, the Pesticide Action Network, And in order to receive it, you have to subscribe to the newsletters, which I did. And all I received was 3 lists, but they were from 2019, 2020, and 2021. I believe in the next, maybe April, they'll be able to deliver the updated one. The pesticides market, it's crazy. Pesticides gets produced, banned, brought back to the market at a very short time. So that's probably why Europe doesn't have a Dirty Dozen Clean 15 list, because each country has its own legislation about pesticides. For Europe, we have the EFSA, which is the European Food Safety Authority, who compiled the report every year, just like in USA. So I did a little digging and I found the latest report of March 2022, but the data was of 2020. And from this, the percentage of produce analyzed that fell within legal limits of pesticides residues was 94.9%, which is quite curious because I looked back to another report of 2017 and that percentage was 97.4%. Now it's less, which means that we have less fruit and vegetables that are within legal limits of these pesticides residues that it's safe for health of the person. So now, as a consumer and nutritionist, I'm thinking first, who sets those limits? The government agencies. Okay, so they the one that go on and say, okay, up until this limit, you would not have any side effect from eating these contaminated fruits or vegetables. And after this limit, you'll start having side effects to your health. But there's a loophole right there. The limit are set by one pesticide at a time. And we know that conventional agriculture does not use just one pesticide. When I say pesticides, I mean an umbrella term for herbicides, fungicides, and fertilizers, all of them. So the limits are set on just one of them, but actually depends what type of fruit and vegetables. They use about 12 to 15 different ones. I'll give you an example. In USA in 2017, 400 different fertilizers, pesticides were used in conventional agriculture, and among these 400 different ones, 150 were considered hazardous from the government, and most of these are banned in other countries. And on top of this, I also realized from my research that in Europe, only 12 products were tested. When you go to the governmental website, you read that 88,000 food samples were tested, and these are the percentages of those. But in reality, 88,000 food samples, which are a lot, are food sample of only 12 different fruits and vegetables. What about the rest? So you see that even by looking at these reports, the picture is not complete. For US, for example, in 2021, only about 10,000 samples were tested, but of just 19 different types of produce. 19. And there's another problem on top of all of this, imported products. What happened with Europe is that the European community exports pesticides that banned in their own country. We sell them to non-European countries. They used in their crops, and then what happens, we import their produce, which indirectly have these pesticides that we banned within our own country. So we are eating produce that basically contaminated with those products that banned within our own countries. Do you see how crazy that is? My intention of this video is not to put you off from eating fruit and vegetables. Of course, an apple, conventional or organic, it's 10 times always better than a handful of candy. This video spurs from the desire of shedding some light on the huge problem of pesticides used all over the world, really, and the environmental groups that are fighting to ban some of them. And at the bottom of this video, you find a list of links with the topics that we talk about it today, a reference for them, and some of the environmental groups that are sharing very useful information about this topic. Let's look at solutions then that we as a consumers can do to prevent eating those residues, or at least a part of it. So the first thing that even the government suggests is to wash your produce under running lukewarm water and then to peel them. So first wash them and then peel them, because you might risk cross-contamination with the residue sitting in your hand and then you using your hand to eat. Another solution in the market is those specific products to wash your fruit and vegetables with. Personally, I say no to them, because they contain chemicals. Yes, they might be useful to wash away some of the pesticides residue, but then you end up eating the chemicals from the product. What works really well, and there's links with researchers on that, is actually bicarbonate soda or vinegar. All you need to do is to soak your fruit and vegetables into lukewarm water with a couple of teaspoons of bicarbonate soda or white vinegar. What works in vinegar is something called acetic acid, and white vinegar is the type of vinegar that has the highest amount of it. Again, dilute a couple of scoops of vinegar into a little bowl of lukewarm water. Soak your fruit and vegetables for 15 to 20 minutes. This helps to remove some of the pesticides residues that are sitting in the skin or the leaves of your produce, but not all of it. Like we saw earlier, pesticides are used systemically, which means they're soaked through the soil and they're absorbed into the plant through the seeds, so they are inside your produce. So how do we go about that? I personally suggest to be picky in terms of where you buy your produce. Farmers markets, for example, best way. Try to avoid the big supermarkets and buy from small farms. People that you can talk to, maybe even ask what they use and how they treat their products. Small businesses that locally grown their fruit and vegetables are the best. And most of them actually follow organic practices, but because to get the organic certification is quite expensive, maybe they don't do. But they're the one who offering a very good quality product, and they're the one who actually needs our support in order to thrive and survive in this world where competition with the huge corporates is just a nightmare for them. And ultimately, grow your own food. Yeah, of course, I know it's not always possible, and I know that so many of us live in big city, in small apartments, so you think it's not possible, but maybe you can start. Even if you were to live in a small apartment, you can have a little corner by a windowsill where you have your small herb garden. Basil, thyme, mint, rosemary, sage, parsley, chives, herbs that you probably not even use in your cooking. But if you have a little plant right there next to you and you just need to give it a little water so now and then, I bet you're gonna start eating those amazing greens. Also, tomatoes are quite easy to grow. Yes, they do need sunlight, but if you live in a country where you are exposed to sunlight, then give it a go. Buy a small plant of tomatoes or any other vegetables that you can find and give it a go. And if you worry about them being contaminated with pesticides to start with, because you might not find organic plants, then all you need to do is to change the soil. And whatever residue of pesticides is in the plant is going to go away with time. A couple of weeks and they are safe to eat. And there's also the idea of regrowing your fruit and vegetable from scraps. For example, celery is a very easy one to regrow from scraps, or lettuce or green onions. Try, have fun with it. There's a lot of YouTube videos of people that have tried that, and it's actually pretty easy. Give it a go and let me know how it goes. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to get back to me. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, like and subscribe for more videos to come on information on nutritional topics so that you can make your own informed choices.